Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia, back with another episode. The news never stops, and neither does Wrestlelamia. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at a bunch of NXT releases, AEW's big expansion, and more. Major moves for AEW. All Elite Wrestling has announced some major moves concerning its television programs, one of which has been rumored for the last year. First, the long-anticipated third hour of AEW on cable television has finally materialized with the announcement of the new program AEW Rampage, a one-hour show which will air on Friday nights at 10 p.m. beginning on 13th August on TNT. Second, both Dynamite and the new Rampage program will move to TBS in 2022. However, AEW isn't leaving TNT, as the cable network will air 4 AEW specials, with rumors it could be AEW supercards such as Fyter Fest. AEW President Tony Khan announced what the deal means for AEW and its fans. The financial upside to our new agreement will give us the opportunity to continue to invest in and grow AEW to serve the most important people in our industry, our fans, our wrestlers, our staff, and our sponsors. AEW has signed a number of big names as of late, and if AEW's past contracts are any indication, the promotion isn't stingy when it comes to signing major stars. Brian Wheats, who serves as a general manager for TBS, TNT, and True TV, discussed the factors involved in the decision to move AEW programming from its original home on TNT to TBS. Both TBS and TNT have an incredibly storied past with wrestling, so for us, being able to put more AEW onto TBS was a natural fit. For me, being able to program these networks as a portfolio gives me the latitude to put them where it makes most sense for the consumer. Did the NHL have anything to do with it? Sure. The NBA had something to do with it. We felt TBS had an opportunity to be the best platform for expansion. There's been talk over the last several weeks what would happen with Dynamite after Warner Media acquired the rights to a block of NHL games which air on Wednesday nights. While TBS may seem like a step backwards for AEW, it's actually an opportunity as TBS reaches more homes than TNT does. It also means fans won't have to deal with finding Dynamite due to NHL and NBA games taking the time slot. Longtime fans and historians know that TBS was the longtime home for professional wrestling dating back to the 1970s when Ted Turner found the content to be affordable and a good ratings draw. All Elite continues to expand, and while some fans are concerned the promotion may be expanding too soon, the reality is that since networks and streaming services are starved for content, there's no such thing as too much content, as long as it brings in satisfactory ratings, which is why the WWE has been able to get major money deals for Raw and SmackDown despite decreased ratings. AEW's biggest challenge is finding a way to properly utilize its large roster without burning out its fans, something which may seem like a case of overstating the obvious, but is more complex than that. AEW currently has 2 programs on YouTube and will soon have 3 hours of cable programming. AEW's YouTube shows appeal to the fans who can't get enough of the promotion and can be used to build new stars when the cable shows can be used to forward main storylines while introducing the new stars who get over on YouTube. AEW does have a lot of content, but in some ways, its YouTube shows are used somewhat like NXT, giving new stars time to develop, but also featuring stars from Dynamite to keep fans interested and to give younger wrestlers experience working with veterans. AEW does not have a house show circuit, which means wrestlers have less opportunities to hone their skills. This makes the YouTube show as well as the new one-hour show advantageous because it allows AEW to maintain a lighter schedule for all of its wrestlers and reduce expenses. That may change once AEW resumes touring later this summer, but for now, it seems to be working well for the company, its wrestlers, and its fans. Ultimately, AEW has to recognize the reality that if it wants to avoid the trap of burning out fans with too much content, it may have to come up with novel approaches to booking the various shows. Some of the ideas previously mentioned may work, but AEW may also choose to have certain shows feature on women, tag teams, or other areas. AEW may also decide to try an entirely new approach that fans haven't seen before. Whatever the situation, AEW has a big opportunity ahead, as well as some big challenges. What do you think of AEW's big announcements? Do you think AEW has too much TV? Let us know in the comments below. NXT Releases Announced. The WWE has announced a number of releases for NXT, a move many fans expected following this year's release of main roster stars. PW Insider and Fightful broke the stories of these releases, and the individuals released so far are Vanessa Bourne. The pandemic may have hurt Bourne's career, as rumor has it she was ready to join the main roster in 2020 after appearing in NXT following her 2016 signing. Jessamyn Duke. Former MMA fighter was signed to the WWE in 2018, but wasn't used much recently. According to Wrestling News, her last NXT match was in December 2019, while she also appeared on Raw Underground on 3rd August 2020. Alexander Wolf. 34-year-old Alexander Wolf is best known for his work in NXT's Sanity faction alongside Nikki Cross, Eric Young, and Killian Dane. Wolf signed with WWE in 2015, debuting in NXT that same year. Wolf later joined NXT UK's Imperium faction and had been wrestling up until his 19th May release. Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp tweeted that Wolf's WWE contract was coming to an end, but that he is well liked outside the WWE and should have no trouble finding work. Skylar Story. Story worked in Evolve as Ava Story before joining NXT. Kavita Devi. The WWE signed Devi in 2017 after she participated in that year's Mae Young Classic. Devi's biggest moment of fame occurred at WrestleMania 34, where she appeared at the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Ezra Judge. WWE signed Judge in 2019 and the former arena football player and competitive bodybuilder. Jake Clemson. Former Evolve referee Jake Clemson officiated in the WWE after the promotion purchased Evolve. Clemson is perhaps best known as the referee who turned out to be one of Seth Rollins' disciples, helping the Monday Night Messiah by unfairly officiating a match between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. KO was feuding with Rollins at the time. Sean Ross Sapp commented on Twitter that some of the released stars already have booking dates lined up. Are you surprised by any of these releases? Controversial referee released. Controversial referee Drake Wuertz has also been released, and based on the allegations being made against him, it's surprising it took this long. You may recall Wuertz received backstage heat for a number of incidents backstage. Let's start with Wrestling News' Andrew Raven's notes on the Wuertz shit show. In November, Wuertz responded to allegations that he is a supporter of the Proud Boys and QAnon, which started when David Bixenspan posted an article that featured screenshots showing Wuertz on Parler supporting posts from the Proud Boys group. That was only part of the problem, as Wuertz spoke out about mask mandates, something which, while not problematic in and of itself, was probably looked down upon for the way Wuertz handled things. Wuertz was recently in the news for giving speeches during a county commissioners meeting while backstage at an NXT TV event about mask mandates, and then missing an NXT TV to attend a school board meeting for the Seminole County Public Schools about the same topic. These incidents seem to reflect a pattern of behavior from the now former NXT referee, who at one point was reportedly suspended from NXT's Capitol Wrestling Center, as details are being reported from Fightful Select, including an incident where wrestler EJ Nduka almost felt the need to get physical with the embattled referee. Last year's NXT TakeOver In Your House featured a backstage by Triple H where he reminded wrestlers and staff that people from all races, genders, and religions were welcome. According to the report, Wuertz packed his personal belongings after Triple H mentioned that all religions were welcome, with Wuertz making a scene of himself exiting. Fightful also noted allegations that Wuertz attempted to advance his career by putting heat on others. In addition, Fightful Select reports that at least 10 wrestlers reported feeling uncomfortable and unsafe around the referee, who reportedly criticized people who didn't wear masks or received vaccinations ranging from flu shots to COVID-19 vaccines. Add in reports of Wuertz repeatedly having to be told to wear a mask, and it's no surprise he was canned. Well, there you have it, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know in wrestling. What do you think of these stories and rumors? Be sure to leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.